Hey, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. Steven is muted right now, but if you could hear him, he would be talking about what a diva he is, which notice how no one's disagreeing with him. So there you go. Isn't that interesting? Interesting. But hey, welcome. We're playing some Mothership tonight. We are continuing through our gradient descent crawl. We ended on an interesting little encounter last time. We're missing a Derek. So Dr. Leo Menton will once again be chewing on a turkey leg and unable to really do anything. But everyone else is here, including Long, who is leaving for Japan in roughly 8 hours, I believe, and somehow is still in the stream. So I just want to say, if any of you ever give me an excuse for not wanting to be on here, it better be pretty damn good, because that's some commitment there. Long, I'm going to give you a raise. Good job.
Raise times 0 is still 0.
Listen, we're this close. We're this close. Oh, goodness. Oh, man. So why don't we do some intros? Let's just do that, because we do have 2 new characters. They were here last time, but we're still kind of getting used to them. So why don't we do some intros? Melissa, tell us about Liko.
Eek, I always forget I'm up first, and I'm always like saying hi to someone in chat, and then it's me. I am Liko. She is a teamster. She wields a vibasheti and a spanner. She was, I would say, slightly less than welcoming, or slightly less than warm in her welcome to the 2 new.
There was no welcome, but okay.
So yeah, there's 2 new members of the group, and she's not yet sure what to make of them, and we're all making potentially important or insignificant decisions together with a lack of trust. So that's always a great place to be.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, you got the other 2 killed, so
I did no such thing.
I don't know. I vaguely recall it being your fault, so
it's a safe assumption.
Yeah, probably. Next up, we've got our resident android. Long, tell us about your character.
Yeah, I'm playing Helix, android. He's got asteroids like skin complexion, orange eyes. He's proficient in hacking, linguistics, computer math, weird android sciencey stuff. And everything else is pretty mediocre. My speed's even probably worse now. I just lost my foot climbing through a tunnel that was like filled with teeth, so that's gone. And now, yeah, stress through the roof.
It's just acceptance there.
Yeah.
So I had a foot, and that's gone.
The android response.
Yeah.
Well,
you're carrying it around with you. I mean, you have the foot. It's just not attached. So if you all get a time, to get some breather, and someone could work on that for you, I'm sure you could reattach it. It's fine. Like, it'd be okay. So you're going to be hopping around. I just really hope you guys aren't going to have to run from anything, because that might be difficult. That would be a real shame if you all were chased by something right now. That would be real shame.
My concern levels are like rising actively.
Real shame. Next up, we've got our 2 new characters who we met last time. So Steven, tell us about Harrison.
Yes, my second character of 5 that I have prepared is Harrison Lewis Richards. He is a serial killer in the making, Comtech troubleshooter. He's one of the mercs that goes around clearing out all the ne'er-do-wells that hang out in the deep. But I've got a little bit of a tech side to me. I got the brains, is what I'm saying.
Do you?
Stat-wise, not player-wise, just stat-wise.
Sure. Yeah. And your character really does have that serial killer vibe. I just put up the character art that we messed around with Artflow, and that is that's definitely serial killer vibe.
It's why I have the 3 names, and they're all last names too.
If I had more room, I would have put all your names up there, but unfortunately I don't. So
it's okay. It's canon. Harrison Lewis Richards. Everyone in the chat, just go ahead and remember that.
Are you just collecting the last names of your victims? Is that what that is?
Oh, it is now. That's canon now.
Okay.
That's a brilliant idea.
I accidentally covered up Steven with Reed. You guys remember Reed? Look at Reed. What an idiot!
Look at
that
him.
guy. Oh, he's dead. That's
F's in
wrong.
the
I'm just
chat.
hitting all the wrong buttons right now. All right, last we've got Ashley. Ashley, tell us about Twiggy.
All right, so I'm playing Twiggy. My last name is also Richards, but I was born with it. That's not my voice that I had. I don't know where I'm going.
I'm so like,
Who was that? I don't
recall
know.
that at all. I don't.
But yeah, she is a troubleshooter. She is more of the bronze to the brain. She's the foil to Steven. She definitely believes in the good of people. That's why she hangs out with this potential serial killer as like her BFF. And yeah, she really wants to get away from here in Monarch, and she wants to survive.
Oh, that's definitely gonna. I mean, that's half the
Yeah.
battle right there. Just wanting it, you know.
Yeah.
The other half is
Just
Probably
keeping the
way
hope
harder.
is definitely.
Yep. All right. So last time around, we started off in a shanty town known as the Gutter, where the crew of the Doppler effect, the remnants of it, Liko, Helix, and Dr. Menton, were given shelter by some of these fallen androids. We've been spending a lot of time on the second floor, called Eden in some cases, where there is this whole social dynamic between the chosen androids of Monarch and the fallen androids of Monarch, and they are kind of at war with one another in some way. And you all were given shelter by some of these fallen androids. But also within this shanty town, there were other human-ish divers and cast-offs and such, two of which were Twiggy and Harrison, who are former troubleshooter mercenaries that have been kind of working the blockade and all that kind of stuff. Eventually, you all got to talking. You worked out some sort of alliance. The Doppler effect crew has a ship, can get out. Harrison and Twiggy have some knowledge about how the troubleshooter stuff worked. It was a match made in heaven. Now, in addition to that, also in the Gutter, there are other folks there that we kind of talked to. Du Chun Chun, who's a woman, this green-eyed, elderly woman that you were warned about from Yarabi Tursky, who you had freed from a locker somewhere on the first floor and then promptly disappeared. You also met a couple androids, some strange ones, one of whom was wearing a vac suit because they felt that they had some kind of disease, like a flesh-eating virus thing going on, and didn't want it to spread to anyone. Another had these what basically were like blades for arms and legs and such, and like they looked like they had claws in some way. You all decided you were going to go into the labyrinth, and you were going to try to look for the Minotaur. Now, if recall, the Doppler effect crew, you were contacted by Monarch, this AI that's controlling the entirety of the station, and you made a deal with Monarch to take out two assassination targets that Monarch wanted you to get rid of, one of whom was the Minotaur. And you also learned that the Minotaur was a creature that the fallen androids were extraordinarily scared of. And so you all got led to this entry into the labyrinth, and no sooner had you walked 10, 15 feet than your way out just sort of disappeared, as the labyrinth is made of this ever-changing pseudo-flesh, the same types of pseudo-flesh that you'll see at work with synths, with actual synthetics. And not only was the pseudo-flesh changing, but new tunnels and paths were opening and closing. Some, as Helix had already mentioned, were lined with android teeth, others with tongues that were kind of sticking and licking you, and others with giant eyes and such. Before long, you encountered some stuff along the way. Harrison, Twiggy, you saw some bodies that started emerging up from beneath the pseudo-flesh like some kind of ruptured tumor, and you found what looked like members of your former mercenary squad, and along with some of their equipment, including a gun that had Harrison's name on it that I'm pretty sure Liko destroyed, despite
Immediately.
it probably having be really, really helpful for you all.
Yeah,
So-
you can't give
That's
us nice things.
That was a poor
Yeah.
play on my part.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. Like if you would have taken it, I would have made it hurt you somehow. I don't know. It would have blown up or whatever. And you would have heard like Steven's laughter going on. So before long, you all came across this really, really dark giant room, and within it there was this like slumbering creature that woke up, and all these eyes were kind of looking at you, and you realized it couldn't talk to you. and then it communicated with Helix somehow. It like tried to attach itself to Helix, which Helix allowed, and it was then speaking through Helix to Will. And it turned out this was the Minotaur, and it was very peaceful, didn't want to harm you, and really was just asking for your help, just escaping this place. They explained how they were created by Monarch, but Monarch turned on them when the Minotaur discovered that like humans were good and it wanted to help humans, whereas Monarch just wants to do awful things to humans. And you all worked out a deal that you said you would help Minotaur get off the station, and in return, Minotaur was going to help humanity kind of become a better version of itself, basically. The other option was to try to find a way to kind of shut down or reboot the systems of Monarch, which is far more difficult, but nonetheless something else you could potentially do. So we're going to end. We're going to start up. We're going to end. That's it for the night long. Have a good flight. We're going to pick up, first of all, with the sound of our familiar corporate music sound going off. And I'm going to need all of you to do that blind roll for me, as you just had this long discussion with this creature in front of you. And it's a bit unnerving. Some of you are starting to feel this weird sense of vertigo overtake you, as when you look around, it's difficult to tell which way is up or down. And you have this creature that has now detached itself from Helix. Helix, you're able to talk. It's still there. What are you all talking about? The Minotaur is there in front of you. Where are we going from here?
Yeah, I believe we're trying to find a way out. And a way to bring the Minotaur out.
So are you going off and scouting on your own? Are you trying to have the Minotaur follow you? How do you want to handle this?
Twiggy grabbed some eyes to like basically have Bluetooth contact with the Minotaur, right?
Yeah,
So,
I
like,
did grab one.
So they
we
can
can go off
essentially see
without the Minotaur. I think that's what Richards would want. Harrison.
And Twiggy.
Okay, so you're saying when we find a way, it can follow our path instead of us coming back to it?
So the eyes, remember, it can see through eyes within a certain radius, within a certain range. And so if the eye is coming along with you, they could potentially find a way to, but you do know that the labyrinth does shift a lot, and it is a labyrinth. So how easy it'll be to actually find you is a different question.
Yeah, my concern with leaving the Minotaur here is that, if we go out and it's a, left, right, left kind of a situation, by the time the Minotaur tries to follow, it may not be a left, right, left anymore. So if we are trying to get this creature out, it might need to be with us.
I see that more as the Minotaur's problem. We'll find a way out, and if it can follow us, it can follow us and come with.
Okay. So
I mean, nobody's going anywhere unless we even find a way out. So I think first step is we should just be finding an exit from this area that we're in.
okay.
Sounds good.
So you're just gonna leave. The Minotaur's gonna stay behind, and the Minotaur can hear everything you're saying. So it's not like so it sees you. You see that its eyes kind of blink, that sort of weird shifting kind of bluish skin with all sorts of mouths and stitches. Put it back up on the screen so you can see what they're looking at. This horrific looking creature. You get one of the eyes, and you kind of look around, and you do in fact find that a tunnel has opened up within this chamber that leads out of here. Do you do anything else before you leave, or do you just push through?
No, I don't think anything else is in this room.
Yeah, I
I'm
think we'll
good to
just
go.
go. Because before all we had was that tiny tooth tunnel.
Okay. So you plunge into the darkness of this pseudo flesh tunnel that has emerged on one side of the walls. You have to crawl again, and so you're feeling that sort of almost kind of the moisture sort of drip down. You're seeing the peristalsis, the walls kind of trigger a bit here and there, rub against you as you get a little too close, and then sometimes it opens up. But you weave through, and you're crawling for probably a good 10 minutes as you're forced to kind of go through this undulation. Like you crawl downwards and you start trying to climb up, and you slide back down and climb and slide and climb and slide over and over again, until finally you emerge into a room that, once more, again, it's dark. There's no lights that are showing in any specific direction. Who would we say would have been leading? Who would be the first person to pop out into this room?
Nico is coming in the back.
Twiggy.
I'd be right behind Twiggy's shoulder.
Okay, so Liko's in the back, Twiggy's up front, and then Harrison is right behind Twiggy. Twiggy, you come out, and you've got a light flashing around. I'm assuming someone does. And you can see that lying in the middle of this chamber that has what looks like 7 separate tunnels shifting out in different directions, you can see that there's a body on the ground. And it's not covered in anything. It's not like one of those sort of tumorous growths, but it's just looks like one of yours. Same sort of dark armor. You can tell that the armor that you're wearing, that troubleshoot armor, it looks worn. It looks sort of not ripped to shreds, but more like it hasn't been upkept for a while. Like no one's really made sure that it's kind of kept its polish or has hammered out the dents or the scratches. But you can see they're just laying there on the ground. You notice that there is a couple things scattered around them. One of it seems to be this weird kind of archaic device that, as you look a little bit closer, you realize it's some kind of film reel, like for playing movies, but not like CDs or not like video, VHS, but an actual kind of film reel. You notice that there is this unspooled like ribbon of film that seems to have been kind of cast around all over, and you also notice that there looks to be like whoever this was has like their hand was like broken in some way. You can see it's kind of the fingers are kind of bent all in sorts of these different ways. What'd you like to do?
She's gonna approach and inspect the body, see if they're breathing.
Okay. You approach the body, you see they're not breathing, you wait, you pause, gun up, looking down. Mm-hmm. No breath comes through. And sorry, just checking. Message from Steven. You can see that they're not breathing, they're not moving. After a couple beats, you're pretty confident that they're dead. They do have that same kind of tinted reddish visor, the helmet kind of covering the usual stuff. You can see the bottom part of their face is visible, like some of these are. You can tell they're most likely some kind of they're probably some kind of scout, like they kind of to move quickly. You can tell their armor doesn't look particularly bulky, but when you're looking, you can see that like they have some kind of looks like beard that's starting to, like this scraggly white and gray beard, wrinkles kind of on the cheek. It's definitely someone who's a bit older, a significant, like 60s, 70s, 80s, like that kind of age, not just like 40s or something.
Do troubleshooters have like identification on them?
Yeah, so you all wouldn't be bringing any specific identification on you, like in terms of who you are. It's more of a, you would have like sort of an optical scan when you hop back onto your shuttles. Like they would just do a quick scan, or when you're kind of going that kind of thing. It wouldn't be anything.
Got it.
You wouldn't be like carrying wallets or IDs or anything on you. You do things pretty quickly in case someone gets left behind. They don't want evidence of who you might have been.
Harrison doesn't trust anything that happens in the deep. Would this look like one of our squad mates that was somehow aged?
It's funny that you mentioned that. As we'll say, one of you kind of pulls the helmet back a little bit, the visor. And Harrison, now that you're thinking that, and you're looking down and you're looking for the signs, it does actually look like one of the people that were on your squad, a scout by the name of Cole Ryder. But he was a young kid. He was like 23, 24. He was just fresh out of the military, like looking for private merc jobs when you met him. This was like his first gig when he got on the same ship as you all. But you look at him now and same bone structure, same eye color, everything looks the same. It's just his skin is horrifically wrinkled. You can see pock marks, liver spots, signs of age, not of decay, just age. And you can tell that there's no like scarring that looks new, but you do see that, he had like a small tattoo kind of just on the underside underneath one of his ears. And there it is, like this little CR for him.
God damn it.
Twiggy still got her shotgun out and she's just kind of prepared for danger, but she like nods at the film reel and she points it out to Harrison.
Both of you, by the way, make that secret Ben's test, please, as you see this.
That's just the blind roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, that's an interesting number. Okay. All right. So, what are y'all doing?
Twiggy, this is... I knew nothing good was going to happen to him, but this is pretty fucked up.
Yeah, that poor kid.
What do you mean, kid? Who was this old guy to you?
Well, I mean, when he got on the ship with us, he was 21.
How long ago was that?
Not that long.
Yeah.
Do we look ancient?
What, 60 years
No.
ago?
What's that film there? And so Liko will kind of reach over and grab at the film canister.
I'd like to
So-
try and grab it before she does, if Twiggy already pointed it out.
Speed tests, and whoever gets higher and succeeds. Rules.
It's a fail. I got a 95 over a 39.
Okay, we'll see what Harrison gets.
I use military training.
Yes.
All right, then I succeed.
Okay.
42 needed a 47.
Harrison, you were right behind Twiggy, so he just kind of gets there a little faster, and you reach down, and there is like an empty, like the metal canister, the wheel is still intact. You can see there's still like maybe 2 or 3 rounds of the film on it, but otherwise the film itself has been kind of unspooled and just like this snake or hose is just sort of moving around, like in the area around the body.
I'll start reeling it up and
There's also an actual projector here too on its side.
Twiggy, you want to lift that up for me? I guess we should find out, shouldn't we? What's the deep trying to tell us?
All right. So-
Twiggy, when you right the projector, you notice there is an actual electrical cord that is extending out from the back of it, and it is descending into the flesh of the ground. Now the flesh is tightly compacted around it, and when you try to like pull on the plug, it just does not come free. It's like you're having a tug of war that you're never going to win, but it does seem like the plug goes down into the ground, buried beneath the flesh.
If I turn it on, does it get power or no?
When you turn it on, you do in fact see the bulb light up, and you can see on one side of the wall, it's a very dark room other than your flashlight, you see this blank white screen is up on one side of the wall. The sort of undulating pseudo flesh is still up there.
All right. I guess hurry up and put this in here before we run out of power or whatever.
As I start setting up the reel, I just mutter to myself, I think I've seen like 18 horror films telling me not to do this.
Okay, so you play it, and you see it just, and you see what looks like a bunch of like sort of image slides that kind of pop up here and there, like random serial numbers and things like that. You see what looks like a logo and like the words of what you think is some kind of company. It's like it says Wyatt and Lane, and then it's a big W and an L, and then it's like Wyatt and Lane underneath. And then as it begins to unspool, as it begins to continue to roll, you realize that it seems to be some kind of travel agency testimonial. You see that there is some kind of young woman who is walking across like all like shittery and in like kind of a zoetrope fashion, as the film is a little clunky here and there, and like they're doing like this office talk as they're explaining to folk. It cuts, and now she's off in what looks like some kind of wilderness area. You see hiking paths and trees. You see what looks like these distant hills and mountains. You see other people who've moved past her, and they share this very what looks like overly rehearsed like greeting. And then as it continues to go, you realize like you start to speed it up just to kind of get to it. It's about a 10-minute testimonial, almost like an infomercial. And you realize by the end of it that it seems to be some kind of travel agency testimonial for like some sort of resort on Mount Suko. Liko, go ahead and roll that little button there.
Oh goodness.
Oh my god, that's a Chuck. There's a Chuck in the channel.
Chuck,
you know what to do. You know what to do. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
Actually, you're okay. Never mind. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at the number. Okay. So that's what you see.
And that was the mountain that was on the postcard that I saw earlier.
Mm-hmm. It's also where you're from.
Yeah.
Yeah. There it is. There's the emotes. There's Chuck's feet in my face. I start realizing something about those emotes, Chuck, as I realize it means you have 4 feet. Okay. What do y'all want to do? Oh, nice.
So,
okay.
Liko wanted to see if, and maybe kind of what just happened may have distracted me, but what Liko wanted to try to hang behind. And she wants, so is the way back still open? Or did it like close behind us?
There's 7 different tunnels, including one going back. You had to crawl out the bottom, but yeah, they're all open. Yeah.
Okay. Because what she wants to see if she can stealthily do is see if she can actually be kind of bringing the Minotaur along behind us.
Okay.
Like
you want to do this stealthily?
Yeah. Like,
okay.
Because like we're in this room, Harrison and Twiggy are kind of paying attention to something, so I want to see if I can like move the Minotaur into the room, like kind of right behind us.
So you guys just traveled through that undulating roller coaster of a tunnel for about 10 minutes or so. So this is something that you would have had been doing ongoing wise. So is that something that Liko would have been doing ongoing?
Yes. Trying
okay.
it anyway.
Why don't you go ahead and then we'll say roll. I'll say roll like a speed test maybe to try to do this, like trying to kind of climb back a little bit quickly, motion the Minotaur forward, and then climb back up before anyone notices. I think Helix was in front of you, then Harrison, then Twiggy.
Yeah. Oh,
you do notice that when the Minotaur does try to move into the tunnel, their body just seems to just squish, like it's malleable. Like it's just this big old stress ball. And it just pushes itself right into the tunnel without any effort whatsoever.
Does it get smaller? Like, can I put it
No,
in
the
my
mass
pocket?
What I'm saying
Okay.
is it just
smushes.
contorts itself in a way.
It's just like stretching out like Play-Doh.
All right. I rolled an 11 under 39.
All right, that
Is
that goes.
11's not like a wacky number or anything, right?
No, that's Haunted West. Haunted West is 11 is bad. No, it's fine here.
Like I feel like that number's in my brain for some reason.
It is.
It's
a bad
forever
number.
cursed.
It's a bad number in Haunted West, yeah. You are able to periodically shift back, especially with Helix giving some kind of cover from the folks in front, and you hang back, wave up, move forward, hang back, wave up, move forward. No one's really the wiser. Now, are you trying to get them into the cavern in this big old multi-tunneled room? That's going to be a much bigger deal. Or do you want them to just hide out in the tunnel?
For now, I'll kind of keep them a step behind us.
Okay, so they stay in the tunnel. All right,
Yeah.
so then we're back to now. We've got this flickering travel testimonial from some kind of advertisement agency called Wide and Lane. We've got a body on the ground of Harrison and Twiggy's old Merc Scout, who's been aged like 60 years. What do y'all want to do?
Yeah, while they're watching the film, I'll take a look at the 7 tunnels here, see if they're like distinguishable at all. If they're all the same.
Sure. You notice down one of them, you can see as you hop over on your 1 foot, you can almost sense the teeth as you're looking down with your android eyes. You probably have slightly better vision in the dark than everyone else, but still it's not perfect. But as the light of the projector is going off, you can see it reflecting off of teeth down one of these tunnels. You see down another, there looks to be some kind of one of those dark, like kind of tumorous growths on the inside. And then the rest of them just look like normal pseudo flesh. Doesn't look like there's anything particularly terrible about them.
Sounds like just a normal tunnel would be best. The third one from the left.
Sorry. Twiggy and Harrison, what are you doing by the bodies in the film? My bad.
Twiggy would probably be checking on the body to see if he had any useful on him.
Okay. On the body, if you start kind of sifting through, you do notice that there is a bottle of half-drunken booze. It seems to be clear liquor. You take a whiff of it. You can't quite determine exactly what it is. It might even be just some sort of homebrew, like engine moonshine. And you also... Whoops, that's the wrong button. Oh, no, that was the right button. You also notice that there is an egg that seems to be in this small little utility pocket, like an actual small chicken egg with a slight crack in it. And you also notice that there is a whole mess load of ammo, like revolver ammo.
Twiggy will grab the revolver ammo for herself, and she's gonna toss the egg at Harrison.
17
What the
rounds.
fuck is this?
17.
You toss the egg. Okay. High or low, Steven?
Go low.
Okay. 7. She tosses it. You go to catch it, and it cracks in your hand. And when you look down at your hands, you see the shell has fractured. This strange, like, kind of bluish ooze comes out, and you realize that inside of it, there's a nose.
Oh, shit. Just drop it and wipe off my hand immediately.
Okay.
What the fuck, Twiggy?
I thought you might be hungry. I thought it was like a cooked egg.
Why would I want a cooked egg that's in a dead man's pocket?
You know, he always carried an egg with him. Like, why waste it? That's the only food that we've come across that we didn't bring, that wasn't made.
Help yourself, Twiggy. Help yourself. And I gesture to the nose on the ground.
Okay, maybe this was something that was made. I'm not eating that. Ugh. And she stands up and just starts heading over towards Helix.
Okay.
Wait, was he missing a nose?
No, he was not.
Liko wants to pick up the nose. Is it like
Okay.
a person nose? An animal nose? Like what kind of a nose is it?
Do you have any? What kind of skills do you have?
Nothing.
You have nothing. You have no skill in anything.
I have piloting, industrial equipment, 0G, and jury rigging.
Okay, you're friends with Helix. It looks like a synthetic nose.
Hey, Helix, you keep spare parts on you in case you need them?
No, I don't carry spare parts, and my nose is fine.
That would help you if you had a spare foot, because you lost your foot. It would have helped. But here's a nose in case you need one.
I can't go around carrying every piece we find. And my foot is here. It's just detached.
Wow. That's true.
I mean, those people back might want it at the gutter.
They were collecting some parts. So,
Okay.
third from the left, Helix, you said?
It is a stable number.
Okay, so you take the third from the left, and you kind of push down the hallway. And again, you're traveling for a little while. And again, there's no teeth, there's no tongues, there's no ears, nothing like that. It's just this kind of undulating tunnel until you start to hear some sounds in the distance. And you realize that up ahead, you see for the first time a wall that doesn't actually look like pseudo-flesh. And instead, it looks like some kind of covering for a vent, like a block. Like this should be a vent exit. However, someone has put a cap over top of it. Now, you hear what sounds like voices, you think, and then every now and then you hear and then a couple shots go off here and there. Do you hear something vague on the other side?
I'm presuming Twiggy's first in the tunnel. She's not going to drop out immediately. She's going to see if she can see what's out there.
You can't. There's a cap to it, so you would have to kind of knock the cap out. Now, you could very easily, without even a roll, just probably take your weapon or even just your fist and just punch it out, but it would cause the cap to fly into the room. However, if you wanted to try to be more careful about it, you can potentially roll a check for that. But you can definitely hear the sounds of what you think might be gunfire, or at least movement and voices. Indistinguishable, though.
She's gonna turn back to the group and be like, and mention, gunfire, possibly? Should we choose an alternate route?
Abs-fucking-lutely.
We've got 7 options. The one with gunfire is probably not the best one.
Okay, again, I'm just fast forwarding through 10 minutes of travel. That's 10 minutes backwards, and with how shifting the tunnels were, there's no guarantee that there's going to be that there.
Okay. Then Twiggy's gonna try and quietly pop this thing open.
Okay, do you have any tools or anything on you that might help with this?
No.
Liko has
Okay.
a spanner that you could use if you'd like.
Okay. If you pass that up.
I think I can spare 10 minutes. I think we should go back.
I mean, we could at least see, and then if we need to run out the other way, we run.
All right, Twiggy.
Okay. Go ahead, and I'll say if you're you push the spanner up, and that you're able to kind of use that to kind of unhinge some of the the nuts behind the behind, like on the inside, because you're kind of on the inside of the vent, and that allows you to carefully push it out, but grab it before it falls. You kind of turn, you pull it back in, and you realize that where you're at is probably about 20 to 30 feet above the ground. And when you look down, you see an auditorium. It just looks like rows and rows of theater seating. You see what looks like body parts everywhere. You see all of these androids that are crawling around, and half of them are missing legs or arms. They have ruptured parts on their face where there's different fluids coming out. You see this defense turret just cut through one of them as it flops down to the ground. And then you see a handful of these others. They're just moving through the room that are having no issues whatsoever. They're glistening and perfect, shiny, and they're just picking up random parts and chunks of the androids that are in this room, and they're moving about. You see off to the right, a ways, the auditorium slopes downwards towards the stage, and you can see up towards the left, it slopes upwards towards some exits where there appear to be defense turrets.
This is the room before the king's throne. It's probably not best we enter. Lost a couple of ours last time we were here.
Yeah, I don't have any bombs or anything, grenades for those turrets, so back it up, folks.
Back it up.
10 minutes back we go.
Okay. You start backtracking, and you move about you're 5 minutes back before you realize the tunnel has shifted, and now you're going literally in a vertical drop. And so you're having to now kind of Spider-Man slide down a tunnel that is not the most easiest thing to slide down. First person is Twiggy. You're moving down, and then eventually you flop down to the ground of another one of these dark tunnels. Next is Harrison. Helix, you're struggling a little bit more without the foot. Liko, you come afterwards. Liko, are you still bringing the Minotaur back? Because that would have been a very tricky thing to do as you started to backtrack now. In fact, so tricky that we're going to say
Sure.
by the time all of you kind of turn around and start moving back, the rest of you can see another shape is in this tunnel near that vertical drop. And you realize it is that same kind of hideous-looking, mutated, monstrous creature with all sorts of eyes and mouths. And it's in a slightly different shape, but the skin texture and color is, you would recognize that anywhere.
Is it the Minotaur?
Uh-huh. Sure is.
Why?
I mean, do you see exactly here what just happened? This whole nonsense of, oh, we're going to find the way out and then tell the Minotaur how to go. That's not how this works. We knew this going in. It's not how this works. It changes every time we move. If we said we were getting
You
him
got a
out,
problem, Liko?
there's no way we were getting him out.
You got a problem?
I don't know. Sounds from your tone of voice that I might. I don't.
Helix, you talked this thing. Can you get it to back the fuck up? I don't know.
Oh, we all spoke to it.
It's actually quite moldable and is making the progress relatively easily. Doesn't appear to be slowing us down at all. I just felt a little disingenuous to say that we were going to bring it out and then find our own way out and leave it back where it was, because that really wasn't going to work. We can stand around and argue about it, or we can try to go down this shoot thing here.
If we can keep up, I have no problems.
When
Wiggy,
we
what
get
do you
out of
think?
here, I want to test it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
You and your tests. I don't understand, but fine. Whatever.
So you start to do the Spider-Man climb down this vertical tunnel.
We do.
Eventually find yourselves into yet another chamber. The only difference with this one that you see at first is that there's some kind of sludge on the ground. And it seems to be something's been recently dragged across the chamber floor. When you get to the kind of the far side of this chamber, you see that there is an android here that is missing from the waist down. They don't have anything. And there's just this huge kind of sludge that's kind of dripping and following behind them. And you can see that they're also dragging what looks to be another android, except this one you can tell has been almost split kind of right down the middle vertically. And they're inside what looks like the brain, and they're stitching and kind of pulling off parts of their own body. You can see that they're reaching inside of their own heads, like kind of wheezing their finger into their ear and plucking out some kind of bit of circuitry, and then very carefully placing it inside the split open head of this other android. When it sees you all, it kind of looks up. Its ear kind of ripped off and strange. You can see bits of that kind of pseudo-flesh circuitry, kind of the pseudo-flesh peeling back, revealing this sort of advanced circuitry, and they look up at you. Their eye is kind of just covered in blue, kind of dripping in this strange tear. Hello. Hello.
Can you still hear us?
I can hear you.
What
I am-
happened?
Struggling to see. We were attacked. We were attacked by cruel, brutal androids. We were here, looking for artifacts. Money, credits, capitalism. Here. Can you help us? My brother is bleeding. I have tried to help him, but I am struggling. Please. They never once look you in the eyes. Their heads just shifting around.
All right, I'll take a look at it.
It is not and it. This is my brother. This is Richard.
Richards is a good name.
My mother gave it to him when we were born.
I thought androids didn't have mothers, and I kind of look at Helix.
We are not androids. We are human.
Oh. Well, if that's the case, then I'm afraid there's nothing that can be done. You see, an android can be repaired. A human, that's just, they're done.
Are any of you a doctor? Please.
We usually have a doctor, but he's not right with us at the moment.
Are we retconning that you left him in the shantytown? Because I think he actually has been following you guys.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a doctor with us.
He's just not mentally with us at the moment. He's still sitting in a corner somewhere.
He turned around. He's just taking a squat. Okay. Please. Something has penetrated his skull. But I still have a heartbeat. I can hear his pulse. Please. If you need blood to donate, I will give it. Please.
Helix, can you help the
wanna
doctor?
help me with this?
If I recall, this isn't the first android that was half dying that thought was human, right? Wasn't there one in the cafeteria we met earlier?
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
You
We're back
left
in
them to
session
be
one.
slaughtered by troubleshooters.
We did.
Perhaps the very troubleshooters that you're with right now.
Don't mess with us.
Yeah, this time we'll see if we're gonna help him out at all. Because we intended to bring the first guy up. See if we can get these guys up.
Okay.
Yeah, Harrison will be helping too.
All right. So, what kind of skills do y'all have?
Master artificial intelligence.
That'll
Hacking
help
math.
a little bit. Yeah. Helix, what do you got?
I got hacking math computers.
Okay. The two of you get to work. Again, one of the bodies has been vertically split, and like the split ends right around the belly button, and you can see that their innards have been kind of pulled out, and the various like synth organs and the different parts of the body that are clearly both of you can recognize as these are not human organs. This is all synthetic. And they're like fuel pumps, coolant pumps, that kind of stuff. And the head is split in two. And you can see that there's been like whatever did this split, it's just a perfect cut. Like it's just wonderful. Like there's no jagged nature to it. It's a perfect split. And inside the brain itself, where it's been like exactly symmetrically cut, you can tell that the logic core has been severely damaged to the point where you're not sure if it's repairable. The input output, like the personality IO stuff, that might be salvageable, but the logic core is basically shot. Like you can still salvage it and perhaps refurbish it, but any sort of anything that would be on it that would make it work in the way this Android function is not going to be possible. The personality input output, you might be able to do something with that, but you're not sure. The framework of this like the split is so perfect that you could probably reuse the physical body and stitch it up, but there was so much internal damage that there's no way that this specific synthetic is going to ever be again. They would need to have everything replaced.
While Helix and I are doing our diagnostics, I'd like to just like shuffle up next to him and talk quietly to him. Helix, have you been with Liko this whole time?
Since we arrived at the planet. Yeah.
We'll talk quietly here. Has she ever been in a different room than you?
Different room. I mean, yeah, we split up a couple times.
Interesting. Does she seem to be acting a little different than before you split up with her?
Different. Her emotional states might be unstable. We've just lost 2 of our crew.
Why is she so interested in saving this Minotaur?
Aren't we all a little interested? I mean, the motives of the Minotaur sort of line up with my thoughts on the world, improving humanity.
As soon as he says that, I'll just clam up. Interesting.
Okay.
And I'll look back at the android that's still got the neck twitch going on. I'm sorry. I think he's beyond our ability to repair.
No, please, no. What will I tell our mother? She will be heartbroken. No. Not like this. Not like this. Huh. And then they start to cry, but it's like this. It doesn't come out quite right, but you can see that weird blue fluid is coming out of their eye. No, Richard. Oh. Hand reaches up, grabs one of the two of you. Let's see who it grabs.
I will do my best to avoid that.
It'll grab Helix. That's what I rolled anyway. And grabs you. Kind of pulls you close. Their eyes or just completely filled with that kind of bluish fluid. Kill me. I cannot go on without him. I cannot face my mother. No. No.
If that is what you
Please.
wish,
Please.
I'll take him out
And
for a favor.
Liko, wait.
For a favor. For a favor? Like, I'll take you out, but you gotta give me something first, buddy.
Wait, Liko, you're only
You're Liko.
only Richard. Helix? Not. I'm sorry. What was your name?
I am not Richard.
What is your
I
name?
am Jonathan.
Well, you are still functional, Jonathan.
Not
should
in
not
my
hurt you.
heart. It is breaking.
I recently lost some companions myself, and
You know
very
the
sad.
pain.
I
But
do.
this was my brother.
That is different. It is different.
He used to push me on swing set. We used to climb the mountains in our home together.
I also used to climb the mountains where I came from.
You know.
I do.
What mountains did you climb?
And I am blanking on the name.
We are from Mount Suko.
That is where I climbed as well.
Wonderful home.
I miss it.
Our
so
parents did such good work for us.
How long ago did you all come here?
10 years. 10 years.
You came here
After
to
we finished college together, we bought a ship with our savings, and we wanted to explore the systems.
I see. And then you found yourself here
Yes,
looking for artifacts like us.
we were looking for artifacts.
And who did this to Richard?
The butcher.
I think we took him out. Oh, I don't remember.
We is a little bit I took him out.
You will be happy to know that we have actually avenged him unknowingly.
You killed the butcher. It was following us. It was chasing us. We barely got away.
We did take it out.
Joy. Joy. Joy.
Harrison will just look at Liko. You took it out?
I said we
Just kind of surprised, looking at you.
and Liko will turn back to Jonathan and say, this one over here likes to get credit. So Harrison took out the butcher.
No, it was Reed.
Oh,
I think you're confusing.
that's right.
Harrison would have no idea. You could have just said, yes, you took it. He had no idea.
I was just
Steven would know you're lying, though.
I was just saying Harrison doesn't like Liko right now.
Well, feelings mutual.
So what do you want to do?
You can come with us, Richard.
What is
Or
the
Jonathan.
point of life if my brother is not with me?
We've already got
have-
one broken android anyways. I think we should just stick to that.
I am not an android. Stop saying that. You are incorrect.
You should come with us. Just being here by his body is not what he would have wanted. You should continue to find artifacts like the two of you are going to.
Now you're speaking to a torso. No legs, no waist. Basically everything below the navel is gone. They've been dragging themselves across, kind of pulling the body of the sort of vertically split Richard with them. So they look at you and they just say, I will stay here and rest a while. We have a ship. You can take it if you wish.
Yeah,
That is what-
absolutely. Where is it?
We have stored it by the bell. You are free to take it with you.
Do you have directions to the bell?
You would know what that is. It's the satellite station that kind of surrounds the deep. It's where Arcadia and Nora go, but you all would know what the bell is.
Is there like a key code to get in or anything we need to know about? You got ignition codes?
Yes. The security code is 55A 5277633 4QTT17. It is
I see.
the
I see Long and I both smiling because we know that Ashley and Melissa are writing it down, so we don't have to.
and
I
he
knew
says,
exactly what Long was thinking right there.
It is called the Doppler effect. But you can call it whatever you want. Our mother was a meteorologist. She studied the weather.
Wait, isn't airship the Doppler effect?
Yes, it is.
Is it? How about the two of you go ahead and roll that little secret little thing?
No.
Oh, God.
Rolled it. You always say that.
Yeah. It's because I'm a showman, Melissa. I was meant to be on Broadway. I was about to say Boardwalk. I'm like, no, that's not right.
Wrong road.
DJ Quiver, take it easy. Take it easy. Thanks for hanging out. Okay.
I like that better.
I was made to be on Boardwalk in Park Place. Okay. What do you guys want to do?
Let's go find our new ship. To the bell.
What do you
Wait,
do
you
with
guys-
this
Get out of this
creature?
labyrinth.
Did Richard die?
No, they're still there. They said they're going to just stay here and rest a while.
Yeah, you do that. Let's keep going. Right, Twiggy?
Yeah. We got a ship to get to eventually.
Yeah, it looks like our fortunes are going the right direction for once.
You ran into one of your crew members who aged 60 years and androids who think there's humans who think they own the ship that we came in on. I don't see that our luck is improving whatsoever.
Well, you see, a couple hours ago, I didn't have a ship. An hour ago, I was relying on your ship, and I don't trust you one bit. Now, I have another ship. So I'd say that my fortune is definitely going the right direction because I plan on getting off this junk heap.
Or the ship they're referring to is actually our ship, and I'm not entirely sure I'm willing to let you on my ship. So,
But that's kind of rude, don't you think?
no, so is he.
Twiggy, do you think this Liko here would be able to stop you from getting on her ship?
No.
I don't think so either.
While they're arguing about a ship, I think I'll just harvest Jonathan here. Take his like Logicore that he has or something.
Okay, sure.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, don't
You
do
can
it.
take damage Logicor, So Jonathan, you'd have to kill first because that's the one who's
Yeah,
been
yeah,
talking.
he requested it, so might as well.
Yeah.
No.
So while they're doing, all of a sudden we hear like, and you look over and the head's been detached, and you can see like a spike has gone into the air. And yeah, you just harvest it
Jesus.
for like logic
Fuck.
lore. Yeah. Blood
And Richards
everywhere.
gains one
What?
stress when he
Sit
sees
down.
an android die. So thank you for that, Helix.
You're not the only one.
You are not the
Yeah.
only one.
I think that's all of us at this point, except for Helix.
You also, by the way, can take 2 because you did technically there's 2 that died here.
I
Pretty dead. Does that count?
It wasn't-
Yeah, I mean,
okay, fair enough. Chicken.
hey, thanks, love.
I would like to only be at 18 stress and not
Sorry.
at 19 stress.
All right.
Melissa, did you make your new character?
No.
What's next? I gave you an exit. And
keep
you guys
trucking
can never
along.
Go back in.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, we're going.
I
So you
want to get to the Doppler effect.
So you travel for a bit longer. Again, 10, 20, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, continuing to go round and round in circles, finding strange thing after strange thing, bypassing these weird tumorous growths on the wall, taking tunnels that don't have teeth that would shred your armor, finding tunnels that have tongues lapping out at you and circling back and going the same way. Once or twice you come up to that same maintenance hatch again that you had already ripped open, but eventually you do in fact find another exit. But you all have been at this for hours at this point. And you come to another one of these, the ends of one of these tunnels where you see this metallic wall suddenly appear in front of you. You see a vent, not capped. It's normal, kind of a normal slatted cap to it. Twiggy, you're up front. You look through and you can see a fairly cramped, low-ceiling chamber. There's an orange light. You can see that there's some lockers in here. And it looks like there's also, like, up against the wall, you can see that there's like a discarded hatch door that's just been kind of pulled off of its hinge and just is leaning up against a wall. And it looks like there is some kind of very large maintenance shaft that seems to be going down into the floor. You don't see anyone else in here. You don't hear any sounds. What would you like to do?
Twiggy's gonna pop in. She'll do a sweep and then head straight to the lockers.
Okay. It's a very small room, so there's really no sweep that needs to be done. But you hop down, you look around. You don't notice any other way out other than this sort of hatch that you just dropped out of, and then this large maintenance hatch that goes down. When you pop over to the lockers, you start going through them. There's 6 total. 5 of them are empty. One of them has a loaded combat shotgun. And you can see that written on the barrel, or painted on the barrel, I should say, is the phrase, "The buck starts here."
Okay.
Twiggy, I think Christmas came early for you.
She just
I
got a
love
pistol. How
guns.
many weapons do you need? I would like that shotgun, actually.
You also
Actually,
notice...
she got pistol ammo, and the pistol was mine, and I'll go ahead and take that back from Twiggy.
Okay. You also notice, Twiggy, that on the shelf of the locker, because then the vertical part beneath, you can see there's the combat shotgun, but at the top shelf, there is one thing up there, small, but you notice it right away. It is a tooth. And it looks identical to the one that's in your mouth, and identical to the one that you picked up off of one of the bodies when you were moving around the labyrinth.
This is gonna kind of it doesn't necessarily freak her out, but she's just like,
Oh no,
fucking-
it does.
okay, more fucking teeth. And she's gonna grab it and she's just gonna pocket it.
Yeah, this is one of those things where you would get, like, Ben's checked.
Gotcha, yeah,
You don't have
yeah.
to roll a check. You're just taking.
Twiggy, you want me to keep that with the other one I got for you? Or do you want both? They're your teeth.
You can
I
have one
don't
and
know.
I'll have one, whatever.
All right. Try not to focus on that. We got a shotgun. We got a ship. We're getting the fuck off this steep.
So does everyone else hop into the room?
Yes, for sure.
You see
as well.
the Minotaur, like a blob, just oozes out, flops down to the ground, and you see it shifts until it gets back into that familiar kind of almost 3.5 leg body. Oh, Cinder, how's it going? It has been a while. How you been? So once again, it has that kind of big old head, all those weird teeth and eyes. Still got that same blue kind of pseudo flesh skin. And yeah, what do you guys want to do?
Liko is irritated with this sort of just taking all the weapon stuff. So Liko's gonna kind of start slamming her way through like some of these other lockers that are in here. She's getting stressed and irritated by her companions.
You want to take it down a notch? You're making Twiggy twitchy.
So if you start going through the rest of the lockers,
Yeah.
Twiggy went through them and they were empty other than this. But as you're going through, you do notice that in one of them, kind of the dark recesses, the dark corners, you do notice that there's a set of brass knuckles.
Liko will take those. And she'll
You
like
know
you
how to
just
use
see
those
her.
things?
She's just gonna sort of like looking at Twiggy and Harrison and just sort of like putting them on and just kind of like cracking her skulls and kind of taking them off and put them in her pocket. Sorry, did you say something?
We're going to have a problem, aren't we? You want to get this settled right now?
I don't even know where the hell we are. So no, doesn't necessarily seem like the time, and haven't quite pushed me far enough yet to need it.
Do you have military training? Like, what do you do?
Here looking for artifacts, same as you.
See, that's the difference, though, is we weren't looking for artifacts. We were keeping Monarch's creations from escaping.
Oh, you were killing people. That's so much better.
I don't think you get it, is that we're the good guys in this situation, and we're the best hope you have of getting off this thing.
It seems this is the kind of place where no one is particularly the good guys. Everyone's got a little mix of looking out for themselves here. Everyone's got their issues. No one's story sounds exactly right. There's shit happening left and right that none of us can make sense of. So maybe y'all think you've got some halos around your heads, but I don't see them.
And Twiggy's just going to look at you and she's just going to nod. And it's like one of those moments where it's like Twiggy will remember this. And
The thought bubble.
yeah.
And those goddamn chimes. I'm looking around the room trying to find a speaker I can shoot.
There is one. You actually see, if you would like to shoot at it, you go right ahead. Mark down.
I'm going to shoot at it.
Okay, mark down one ammo. But yes, you fire at it. You hit it. Kind of, you hear a little, and it kind of drops down. After that, you see little bits and pieces of the speaker drop.
How much ammo did I get with this other combat shotgun?
It's just
4?
loaded. It's just whatever was
Okay.
in the clip. I can't remember exactly how much the combat shotgun has.
4.
Take a look at the stats. Yeah, so that's all there is.
Okay.
Twiggy, I gave you some rounds with that revolver as well, correct? When I first
came
gave
with
it to you?
6, yeah.
I had some backup ammunition, I thought, too. So why don't you hold on to that ammunition you just got, just in case I need to toss you this revolver in a hurry?
That's fair.
Is there another speaker in this room, or is there just the one that got shot out?
You're not sure. You look around, you don't see anything obvious now.
Okay. Nico walks over to Helix. You know, you can speak up every now and again. But these two just coming in thinking that they can just rule this group just because they're from here and they know stuff.
And we're in a small room, so
Mind a little
Twiggy's
back up every now and again.
Twiggy's
look
gonna
over.
pop up.
And Leo is like, yeah, Helix, and he's just squatting in the corner taking.
I was about to say, yeah, pick on Helix when Leo's the one that's not doing shit.
Oh, he's doing shit.
He's definitely
It's the only
shitting.
thing he is doing.
Did you want us to separate then, and then whoever gets to the Doppler first is good to go?
Yeah, we
don't
can
think
make
there's
it a
a need
little
for that.
race.
You don't trust us. You haven't given us a chance to be trusted.
Not entirely sure we
And
got
you're a
new
m-
people that come into the group and want to hoard all the firearms and such is necessarily acting.
Are you
trustworthy.
good
Oh,
with
yeah,
shooting?
it's always a bad idea to give firearms to the military trained. We know what we're doing here. Why don't you just leave the guns to us?
Mm.
And at
You
that,
came upon Liko with like 16, 17 stress, so you're not
Yeah.
getting a friendly welcome here from
No,
her.
I figured.
Twiggy's just gonna roll her eyes and head to that hole that's in the middle of the room. And well, we leaving?
Let's do it.
You look down.
Harrison.
There's a ladder along the side, and it just descends into darkness.
Twiggy's
Harrison
gonna
is
do,
always going to stay on Twiggy's 6 if he can.
yeah.
Okay.
Twiggy's gonna do that whole thing where she climbs down and then she holds onto the sides and kind of slides down a little bit.
Okay. You want to go a little bit?
Yeah, not a lot, and then she'll just start.
Okay.
Getting the style points on the way down.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a strength test as you do that.
34 over 34.
Okay, right
Hey.
on. All right, you slide down a bit, grab again. Ladder continues to go. You go down maybe 10 feet. It's still very dark. Another 10 feet, another 10 feet. You realize eventually that the ladder goes down about 40 feet and then stops. But there's no floor. There's no walkway. You just see there is like a 30. You can see like there's just darkness below.
Oh shit. Back up.
However, as you're looking, you do notice that some of the speaker that Harrison blew up is just below you. And you can see it's just sort of floating there in the middle of the shaft.
There's some weird magic shit. The speaker's just fucking floating in nothing.
The grav broken here.
I don't know. You want me to jump? I'm not dropping down there. You want to jump over me and drop down?
I do imagine that Harrison would be like 10 feet above her on the ladder. Like if she got like 40 feet down, I would have already started heading down myself.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't I was just
you-
following.
You want me to climb over you and hang down? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, yeah, if that's what you want to try. I ain't doing that first myself. Unless you think it's a good idea.
Is this ladder like against a wall, or could I
Yep.
like go to the opposite side of it?
It's anchored to a wall.
Anchored to a wall. Okay. All right, hold on, Twiggy. Hold on. And I'll get down as close to her as I can, without like knocking her off.
Okay.
And I'll try to like loop a hand or an arm around the ladder as best I can, and I'll pull out a foldable stretcher from my bag for my kit.
Okay. So you've got your foldable stretcher. What do you want to do?
I want to drop it and watch where
Eric's
like the
crying.
gravity might like switch.
Okay. So it drops. And initially it drops about 20 or 30 feet down, right on the edge of where the light from Twiggy's flashlight is, or whatever it is. It just suddenly stops, and it's just this 0G kind of takes over. And it just kind of swirls around a bit, and then slowly starts to descend out of the darkness. Or down to the darkness.
That's when you hear Twiggy go, "Oh, hell yeah." And she drops.
Okay.
Twiggy, wait!
So Twiggy hops off 30 feet down, and all of a sudden you feel that 0G kind of take over. And you kind of start to slowly descend 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet.
And you guys just see her flashlight get
feet.
dimmer and dimmer.
Mhm.
Oh, hell. And I jump. I don't want to lose sight of her. Like, I never want to be in a different room than her or, like, not have visual contact.
Okay. So the two of you are floating down and down and down. Harrison, you're a little bit behind. Helix, Liko, what are you two doing?
Liko is bringing up the rear and looking up to see how the Minotaur is like making this like ladder climb down. Like what?
Not too difficult. No, not having trouble at all. Like the ability to contort oneself into whatever shape seems to be pretty useful. They are quite big and bulky, so they kind of stretch themselves out into a fairly long form and begin to climb down. Helix, what are you doing? Again, you have 1 foot, but you kind of hop down a ladder, I think. With
Yeah,
1 foot.
I'll hop in after them after they go.
Okay, you all start falling. And that's the end of the campaign. Thanks, everybody. No, you all start falling down. And as you're falling 10 feet, 20 feet, 30 feet, 40 feet, 50 feet, at a certain point, Twiggy, as your light's going around, you see like this huge chunk of graffiti just suddenly appear on the side of the shaft. And it's got this like serial killer magazine cutout feel, but it's huge. Like it's just this massive, massive phrase, and it says, "By the dip." And then there's an arrow pointing down. And then you guys continue to descend. At a certain point, you all suddenly kind of come to what looks like this kind of spinny point, and you just feel yourselves kind of come to a stop. But you see like there's this ladder on the side, this kind of orange rusty ladder, and it lets you kind of climb the rest of the way down. And it's another 40 feet or so. You guys have been traveling hundreds and hundreds of feet. You've likely shifted between floors, you would think, at this point. And
what do you mean by spinny point?
It's like you kind of just start spinning. You realize, like, Harrison, you would put it together as kind of like where the gravity is kind of shifting. Like there's these points where you
like
just
we're going through the
stop.
center of the deep, and now it's like reversing.
No, it's just
or?
it's like in the middle of the shaft. For a ways in the shaft, it's 0G, but then at the very top and at the very bottom of the shaft, for like 30 or 40 feet, it's normal gravity. And so at those transition points, it seems things just kind of spin in place until you propel
Like
yourself.
a gentle whirlpool of like the meeting of different currents in like the ocean or something.
But eventually, Twiggy, you land. You realize as you kind of come down to the ground that like the gravity here, it's not like as you're kind of using this rusted ladder to kind of pull yourself down, you realize as you're moving, like you're very, very light. And it's as if like, despite this ladder, 0G kind of continues to sort of plunge down, and then eventually you kind of land at the ground. You hear your feet echo on what is some kind of like steel grating. You see that there is black and yellow warning tape kind of all over the place in this red emergency lighting. You can see there's a handful of what looks like vac suit lockers on the wall. You can see there's bullet holes all over the place. And shortly thereafter, you can see Harrison kind of using the rungs to kind of control the fall a little bit. Eventually, he comes down. But even here, you can feel yourselves kind of weightless. Like even here, the gravity itself is sort of keeping you all fairly weightless. Yeah. So you see bullet holes. You see these lockers. You see the opening that goes back up. And then looking around, you also notice that there's a couple different, what looks like ways out. You can tell that there are four different exits. That kind of, one of them appears to be like a proper, well, a couple of them actually looks like proper, kind of doors, airlock doors and stuff that kind of go off into different directions. I gotta double check. Wait, make sure that they're airlock doors or not. I don't remember. Sorry, there's like a little.
Twinkie, I didn't do well during the 0G part of training. This is not my bag.
Yeah, they're airlock doors.
That was fun.
And then shortly thereafter, Helix, Liko, and the Minotaur come down as well.
Jesus, we can't get rid of that thing, can we?
It's dark. There's red emergency lighting that's flickering, going on and off.
Mhm.
That gives you the contours of all these different lockers. You can see bullet holes and residue of something on the wall. You can see what looks like 3 different airlock doors going out in different directions from within here.
All right. And Twiggy's got her gun out again. The site was pretty hot, so we better be careful, but fan out, see if there's anybody still alive.
Yeah, Twiggy, airlocks better be safe. Put on helmets so we got some airflow just in case.
Yeah.
And I'll seal up my exosuit.
Okay.
Yeah, Twiggy is the same.
Yeah, sure. There's definitely there's atmosphere. It's just the gravity is not there. Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to open a door and find out there's no atmosphere.
Liko wants to check the lockers.
Okay.
She's looking for that combat shotgun.
There needs to be some balance here.
Yeah, you go in and you start looking through the lockers, but all you find are what looks like pinups, like very crude, very sexualized pinups of various women on the insides here and there. They all seem to be cut out of magazines, glossy, but old.
And she's irritated, so she's kind of repeating the same thing up here, where she's just like opening locker doors and slamming them closed. And just getting frustrated that she's not finding anything. With the bullet holes, does it seem to, not that it necessarily matters, but does it seem like shotguns or like automatic weapons or just like random stray bullet holes here and there?
Yeah,
this is
so
like a major firefight here. Or...
Do you have any firearms skill or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not sure exactly the caliber of the weaponry, but you do see that there's several bullet holes. It does look like at least a dozen or more. There also is what looks like this splatter stain, and it's kind of hard to tell with the light being red in here. You're not sure if that's blood or if it's some other substance. It's hard to tell.
I do have a flashlight. Can I try to get up close to it and see
get that
it,
light?
yeah.
If you get that light and Leo's there behind you, you'll take a look and you realize it's not actual blood, but it looks to be pseudo milk.
Okay.
I would be fanning out and helping Twiggy look, but I'd never be more than like 10 feet from her.
Okay, it's a very small room. It's very just the thing in the bottom right of social media. That's good. It's a very small room, so there's nothing else too much in here that's too that kind of catches your eye. But you do see that the way back up would be this kind of long climb up that ladder, and you'd kind of have to push yourself up and kind of start spinning upwards once more. But yeah, there's just those 3 airlock doors that leave.
Are the doors marked at all? Some sort of signage?
High or low?
Let's go high.
Felix? High? Okay. Yeah, you do see that just for the sake of our... Let's presume we're looking at like a map. I can bring you over, but I don't want to just yet. I want you to kind of explore a little bit before I show you. But we'll say the north side of the room, we'll call it, there does seem to, you can see that the stencil has been worn out and there's like stains over top of it, but it does look to say meeting room. Another one to the east says break room, and then there's nothing to the south. Like that door is not labeled. It looks like what happens when you don't take your hair out of the show. We're doing great, Nonchalant Skeleton. How you doing? Nonchalant Skeleton, that's good. So what do you want to do with that, Helix?
You guys feeling curious? Or would you rather go through a door? We know what's behind it.
You got a lot of faith if you actually think we know what's behind that door.
Mhm. Let's go with door number 1.
Which is
Money
Meeting
all
room?
says it's a go.
Meeting room.
Okay. You push the door open, and you see it's not a very large room, but when you push it open, you can see that all around there looks to be like this, like floating in the 0G. Okay, you can see what are glass splinters from what you think are computer monitors that have been broken. You can see the residue of them are here and there. Some of them are kind of floating against the wall. Others seem to be anchored to desks. You can see that there are what looks like locking seats in this mag table as well. And you also notice that above that mag table, there appears to be a corpse floating, and its face is smashed.
Liko will go
what-
over to the corpse, take a peek.
So you see like what gear it's wearing.
Yeah, you push off. It has a set of coveralls on. You can see it has the logo of the station. Nothing about it like really kind of gives out a name. Just says Cloud Bank. But when you get very close, Liko, you can realize it's very clearly an android. It looks like one of the security androids you all fought when you first got on the station. It's kind of got that kind of uncanny, not even uncanny valley. It just doesn't look like it has like nose or eyes properly. But you can tell like its face has been caved in.
Yeah, this looks like another one of those security androids. Kind of doing what you do, but they're androids doing it. It's the same coveralls, right?
Yeah, it's just the coveralls for Cloud Bank security. It's just like working.
Can I
I
check
don't really
pockets
like
or
you
anything?
comparing us to these security androids.
You don't really seem to like pretty much anything I do, so sounds like I should just keep doing what I do and
Troubleshooters
you'll like it or
contain
not.
the situation.
This certainly feels like a well-contained situation that we find ourselves in, doesn't it?
Now, Liko,
I just do
you're
a big sigh.
you're floating up close next to it. There is
Yeah.
a fairly large, like you can tell in one of its pockets, there's like a bulge of some kind.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to check pockets and whatnot.
You pull out a med scanner. You open it up. You can see it's on. You kind of the screen kind of comes on after it had gone off. Kind of automated off, battery save or something. And you start seeing like there's this scan history. Deceased, blunt trauma. Deceased. That's it.
So this is similar to the thing that Harrison was like scanning me with earlier.
No, this is a med scanner.
Oh, okay.
Harrison's using something different.
It's a different scanner. Okay.
Mm-hmm. This is something like Leo would use. Like if Leo sees it, he would be able to identify it. Like
Yeah.
it's very common.
Is there anything that indicates what floor we're on? Because I feel like that's Twiggy's biggest concern.
No, it doesn't. There's nothing here to suggest it. No, not in here.
Liko
we're
doesn't
going
know
the
how to
wrong
work this
direction.
thing, but she just wants to face it towards her and just sort of do a scan and just see what.
And you look at it, and it shows your basic temperature, heart rate, that kind of stuff. You're a little elevated.
Mm-hmm.
Blood pressure's a little high.
A little touch high. Yeah. Lay off the salty foods.
So Liko will just sort of look at that and just be like, and we'll go over to Leo. Think you might like having this.
And grabs it, no problem. Twiggy and Harrison, you've been in the room. Helix, what are you doing?
Seeing if this is just sort of dead end or is another way out.
You do see that there is another door, another one of these airlock doors. We'll call it, say, the east. So, like, when you come into this room off to the right, it's a small meeting room. It's not that big. It's like 25, 30 feet across. And you can see off to the right as you first come in, there's another set of airlock doors that go off somewhere.
Then I'll see if they open up at all.
So you get over, and this one, they're a little bulkier, you can tell, but as they open up for you, again, very, very dark. There are no lights whatsoever since you've been down, other than those red emergency lights when you first dropped down. And you look out, and you can see that there is a very long corridor, to the point where you can't see the end of it. All you can do is get the first 10 feet or so from just the ambient light from like Twiggy or Liko's flashlight that just so happens to be flashing around the dark meeting room you're in. But you do hear the sounds of machinery.
I'll crack a chem light to offer more light.
Okay.
And sort of just wave everyone in this direction. If there's nothing here, we should move on.
You hold it up, and you can see that now that you're holding the chem light out, the light kind of pushes even further down, and you still can't see to the other side. This is an extraordinarily long corridor. But you do see that on the sides, looks like the machinery that might be making, or at least making the noise closest to you, you can tell that there's more movement in the distance as the chem light continues to kind of like bounce off of some of this metallic reflective surfaces. But you can see these hydraulic arms are pumping along the sides of the walls slowly and heavily. But so it just looks like hydraulic pumps as far as you can see, and then eventually you can't see anymore.
If Helix called out to us, Twiggy and would have started heading over towards him.
I'm on her 6.
Okay. So what do you want to do?
Y'all realize we better be very careful. We're probably on floor 3, the fucking factory.
Yeah. We're going the wrong fucking direction.
What do you know about floor 3?
Got to keep moving.
Everybody knows floor 3 is the factory. This is where she produces her androids.
Well, we are here to explore, so it does appear that we are exploring. So
You keep saying that. We, and I point to Twiggy and I, are not here to explore.
I can still say we, because the 3 of us are here to explore. So you can choose to include yourself in the we or not, but I'm still gonna say we.
Okay, I get there's tension, but I don't have time for that shit right now. So now's the time where we're gonna get tactical, and we're gonna be fucking quiet, and we're gonna make sure we don't run into any more androids, and we're gonna get out of here alive. Cool?
Then you just see Liko just sort of like, zip her mouth.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Now let's...
And I've still got my helmet on too, so I imagine there's like a filter on the voice.
It does. It is. Yeah, you do sound weird coming out. Like your voice sounds very weird and robot-y.
Twiggy's right. We move, we live. We stay put, we die.
Thought she just told everybody to shut the hell up. Why are you not shutting the hell up?
I pistol whip her. No.
Okay, what do you guys want to do?
I mean, do we want to check that other room or the unlabeled door, or do we want to keep heading out towards the machinery?
I'm fine with just going down the corridor.
All right.
Okay.
You leading or am I leading, Helix?
I am missing a foot. Would you like me to lead?
Probably not.
I mean, he is already
Helix
broken.
getting
What's
some
the worst that could
attitude
happen?
now.
So yeah, so
All right.
heading
Okay.
forward.
Twiggy, let's show
Twiggy.
them what we're made of.
Two,
rather
you push
not.
in. You push in, and it's just more of these hydraulic arms after another and another. 5 minutes, like it's an enormous room. And you take you're looking at these as you pass. They're still functioning, they're still moving, and they look to be in phenomenal condition. Like you don't see any issues. Looks like maintenance has been well kept up with. As you get about halfway through to the corridor, Twiggy, you notice that there is movement up ahead. And it's not just the hydraulic arms. You see two figures moving about in like you can just see the contours of their shadows and things like that, and you can see they move here and there, like they are behind what looks like one giant pump, and they move over. They're behind a pipe. You can't tell if they're hiding from you, but you can't make them out. In the back, Liko, Helix, you hear this tinkling rattle coming off from the sides, in between the pumping of these arms.
And when Twiggy notices the things like moving around in front of her, that's when she like holds up an arm. Harrison probably stops, comes up behind her, puts an arm on her shoulders. He's also looking around her, and she's gonna try and take some tactical cover if
Okay.
there's anything nearby that we can.
There's these pumps you can hide behind, sure, on the walls. You can kind of slide in between them.
Yeah, and then observe and see if these shadows try and come closer to us.
Okay. What does everyone else do?
I'll look into the tinkling noise, see what's causing it.
Same.
Okay. How are you doing? Are you just going to look around? It's from the sides of the corridor. You just kind of slide over and kind of
Yeah, I'll
look
slide
around?
over, take a look in.
Okay. You see coming out like disappearing into the shadows what looks to be just like some kind of long, small chain that's just sliding across the ground in the darkness, like tink, 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 as it's like going over top of what looks like the grating. It's this rusted, thin chain, and it kind of disappears behind one of the pumps, and you can hear it kind of traveling deeper into the room.
I'll bring up that there's something over there I might want to avoid.
Twiggy nods and like holds her finger in front of her mouth, like where her mouth would be, and like in a shush, and points up ahead where she saw more of them, or like shadows moving. And she's gonna try and lead us further, like in a wider berth away from them.
Okay, it's a corridor, so there's not too much of a wide berth you can do, as the walls are bulked up with these hydraulic pumps. But you do your best. But unfortunately, your best is not particularly good enough in this situation. As you get about 10 steps further inward, and you see suddenly standing up from behind what looks like those industrial pipes, you see a security android. No face. It's just this mannequin-like face. No functioning eyes. No functioning mouth. It's got what looks like this horrifically blood-covered, viscera-covered coveralls that it's wearing. You see in its hand it has what looks like some kind of SMG, and you hear like suddenly thump, 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 and you see from off to your left behind one of the pumps, there's another one of these that is just doing like the Terminator run, thump, 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 as it's running towards you. What would you like to do? Everyone, whereas we are now getting into a combat situation. You tell me what you want to do. One of them looks like it's about to shoot Twiggy. The other one is charging into the group. And then there's still that sound that you hear getting further away, though.
Nothing shooting Twiggy without me shooting it first.
Okay.
Yeah, Twiggy's gonna shoot at the one that's gonna shoot at her.
Okay. So the two of you are going to shoot. Are you shooting the same?
I think so.
The one, if Twiggy's in danger, I'm shooting at the one shooting at her.
Okay. So the two of you are gonna shoot at. You're shooting at the same one. I mean, she's in danger from a lot. So like, are you shooting at the one that she's shooting at? Or are you shooting the one that's charging in?
I imagine that Liko has some brass knuckles or something like that she can handle the one charging at her.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're not charging at Liko. At the group.
Who's it charging?
Just the group.
The group
Hasn't decided who it's attacking.
The gun
yet.
first. Shooting the guy with the gun.
Okay. Helix and Liko, what are you doing?
Liko is getting out her vibasheti for whatever comes into range of her vibasheti.
Okay, so you're going to attack something that comes in the range of your vibration.
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
so if that one that's running gets close enough to you, you'll go ahead and you'll swing at it. Perfect. Helix, what do you want to do?
I will help Liko in attacking anything that seems hostile.
Okay. All right. We'll start with Harrison and Twiggy. Go ahead and roll your ranged attacks. As the one is standing up, you can see their torso up and above. It's very rigid as it's holding its SMG directly at you.
Our exosuits give us 10 to combat, is that right? Yeah.
It should be built into your sheet. You should see it right to the right of where it says combat on your stat. There should be a grayed out 10.
And that combines with our skills already, right?
It should. If you're rolling through this, it should work. If you're rolling with your Norse Foundry dice, which I'm wearing the shirt today.
I am using my Norse Foundry dice.
Just add the two numbers together. And that's what you're trying to beat.
Add the three numbers together. Skill, armor, and combat.
Yeah. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry to make it complicated.
35.
I rolled a 35 as well, so I passed.
Twinsies.
Okay.
Twinsies.
Both of you go ahead and roll your
The
damage.
same last name and everything.
What are the odds?
And what weapons are you using?
I'm using the revolver.
Okay.
combat shotgun.
Are you using the one that you just got? The buck starts here, or the buck starts here.
No, she's using her original shotgun first.
Okay.
So this is 2d10.
I am doing 7 damage.
Okay.
I am also doing 7 damage.
Okay. The two of you unload on this thing, and it just doesn't even flinch. You see little chunks of little tiny bits of its coveralls where all of that blood and viscera is from. You would imagine it's red stain and brown stain. You see a tiny little bit or two of pseudo flesh, like pseudo milk kind of explode from it, but it seems relatively undeterred.
It says my damage is 1 wound.
Okay, that's different. So 1 wound on the shotgun. So what that is it's not a number. It's just you're taking down one of its wounds or hits on the NPC side of things. So that your shot actually causes a very large crater in its chest, and you see an eruption of this pseudo milk comes out. However, Harrison, you get a couple shots in too, but yours does not explode with such great force. But the 7 points of damage,
it's
then
fine.
Twiggy shouldn't. It's just a wound. You don't.
Got it.
You wouldn't roll the damage on top of it as well.
Got it.
Nice.
Okay.
Twiggy's badass. I'm good.
It will nonetheless fire back, and it is going to fire at Harrison.
Bro.
Okay. Sorry, buddy. All right.
You're gonna kill my other character.
Well, the 27 I'm gonna hit, so maybe, maybe. So it's gonna be 2d10 worth of damage. Oh, you lucky bastard! It's a 1 on the first, and that's an 8 on the second. 9 points of damage.
All right, so I have 10 armor points, and
Okay.
this is my first time wearing armor. So, is it like temp HP, or does it work every time?
No, the armor will wear. So you basically have 1 point of armor left, but you don't take any actual damage.
Cool.
Okay. Then the other one comes charging in, and you can see that it's going to just lower its shoulder, and like a bull coming out of nowhere, just is going to lower its shoulder right into Twiggy and send her flying into one of the hydraulic arms. So I'm just going to make this... Okay. 35, that'll hit. Hey, so many 35s. I rolled a 35 too. Look at that.
Wow.
We're triplets.
Wow. That's crazy. All right, this is going to take... You're going to take 14 points of damage as this thing lowers its heavy mass right into you. You go flying and slamming into one of the pumps, probably crushes down a little bit on your arm. The whole process is just kind of riling you. You still have your gun and everything, but it's right there.
Okay, so you see my exosuit gets just dented, like wrecked. And I do take so my exosuit's messed up, all 10 points gone, and I take 4 points from my health.
Yeah. So you're okay. Let me just read this right. It's your armor can protect you against hits that deal damage lower than this value. It's a flat reduction. If you take damage that exceeds this value, your armor is destroyed, and you take any remaining damage as a reduction of health. So your armor is basically ripped up. Your arm, like the part that's covering your arm, just gets caught up in the pump. You manage to wrench it free, but you can see the armor paneling is just completely bent and twisted. You look down at your body, and if not for that armor, you're afraid of what might have happened to your bones as it landed into you. Okay. So then, Liko and Helix, you were kind of saying if one of them got close, you're going to attack something. It is now close enough as it just smashed into Twiggy. So, Liko, if you want to step up and swing at it with your vibrosheti, go right ahead.
Okay. See, I don't want to roll 35 because that would be a fail for me because I only have a 32 in combat. Rolled an 89.
Okay. So you go up and you go to swing, and it kind of retreats back as after it slams Twiggy into the pump a little bit jerkily, and you were probably expecting more of a graceful movement, but these are much more blocky and industrial, and so as you swing down, you just kind of graze it on the side. Helix, what are you doing?
I'm also taking my shot at it.
Okay, go right ahead.
I have a sharpened butter knife.
That does double damage, I think.
What?
That's what he does.
39 is actually fail because I need below 13, which is impossible.
God.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say I was going to give you advantage on this because it's busy with Twiggy and Liko. So if you want to roll again to see if you get 13 or under, go right ahead.
All right, I'll try.
It is now getting surrounded by three different people.
Oh, I got double zeros. What is that again? Is that a 1 or is that 100?
That's 100.
Oh my god.
That's how we play it. We
Yeah.
don't do the 0 to 99. Everyone out there, we don't do 0 to 99. We do 1 to 100, and so that's going to be.
Well, I got 100.
Is it 100? See, now I'm second guessing myself. This is what happens.
Yeah, so
I
that's 100.
freaking hate D100 sometimes. It drives me nuts.
Triple
I think-
zero is always supposed to be 100, I believe.
Yeah, that's what we do. We do it as
Okay.
100.
Yeah.
We're consistent, at least, even if we're wrong. Okay. So now you have one up in your business that has smashed Twiggy essentially against one of these pumps. Harrison, you're not kind of obstructed, but the other one is firing its machine gun in direction of the group. The three of Twiggy, Helix, and Liko are kind of surrounding one of them. The one that's firing the submachine gun looks to just kind of be turning its gun like it's getting ready. It's going to fire. It's just going to unload. It doesn't really care who's there, but it is bleeding profusely out of its chest wound. Like it took significant damage. What would you like to do? All of you. And anyone.
Protecting Twiggy, the one that tackled her, is my new target.
Okay, so you're going to turn and fire. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, rest of you?
Yeah, Twiggy's gonna, I'm kind of worried about shooting at this one that's right here. But she's gonna do it.
I mean, you have a shotgun, so
Yeah.
it's probably not a bad idea. Okay. Helix,
Nico will-
Nico?
Try again.
And
Okay.
Twiggy's gonna, cause Monarch's here, right?
Monarch? No.
Yeah.
Monarch's everywhere.
Minotaur.
Oh, I mean Minotaur. Sorry.
Yeah, behind us.
She's gonna like toss her head back. You're just gonna can't you stop these guys?
Okay.
And then she's gonna shoot.
Okay.
You have 2 advantage. Thank you, Arkadev.
Oh, thanks, Farkadev. Wait a second. Now you're helping them? That's not right. That's
He
not
put
right.
us in danger, and then he's like, "All right, let's."
That is true.
see what
That's why
happens."
there's more than one thing happening right now, because Farkadev
Yeah.
threw some bits out.
Such a toxic relationship.
I hit. I got a 3.
Okay, you got a 3. All right, so you do a 1 wound as you
Yay.
turn around with your now mangled arm, the armor on it. You still got your shotgun in hand, and you just pull the trigger. Explodes. You see this eruption of pseudo milk covers Liko, covers yourself, covers Helix. All of you kind of get coated into it. What else? Who's next?
Did she destroy the one that was tackling her?
No.
Okay, I'm shooting at that.
Okay.
And I'm missing.
Okay, so you start. There's just a lot of people around now at this point, and you're trying to get a shot. You're trying not to hit her, and you fire, and it just kind of clips off the shoulder and does. It's just kind of a graze, basically. Liko and Helix.
I'd like to try and grapple one of these androids into like the pistons, trying to get them jammed in it.
You want to push one into the pistons? Okay.
Yeah.
Good thinking.
I like it. Go ahead and we'll say roll. Do you have strength or anything that would help with strength? Any skills that might apply here?
No combat skills, but I can just do straight strength.
Okay, if you want to do straight strength, do that. I mean, if you wanted to call out and be like, Liko, help, or something like that, you can get advantage from the two of you doing it together or something like that as well.
Yeah, I have decent strength, and I was actually thinking the same thing, so I would definitely help.
Okay.
I can help instead if you have a better strength. I have 28.
I have 41.
Okay. So, Helix, Liko, you see it stumbles for a second as the explosion from the shotgun that Twiggy fired on it, and the two of you just kind of look at each other, and you both charge in, looking to do the same thing. Liko, you have the better number, so why don't you go ahead and roll your strength at advantage?
At advantage, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know that I'm going to do better than that, but I'm going to try anyway. Yeah, 13 under 41.
1341. You push it right into one of these pumps.
Nice.
Smash, smash, smash. Roll 2d10. It'll take 2d10's worth of damage, which I think is still better than your vibrochetti, right?
That is a 7. My vibrochetti is 3d10. but that's
3d10? All right, roll
Yep.
4d10.
fine. Ooh. Okay, so I'll need help with the math. So that's a 7 and an 8.
15.
And a 3 and a 2.
Okay, that's 20. So
20.
you just did 20 points of damage to it. Ashley, you hit it, right?
Yeah, I give it a wound.
Okay. So this thing, I'm gonna say, is gonna get it's gonna get caught up in the pump, and you can see that everywhere from the shoulder down to its arm, it's just getting as the coating of the pump is coming down and smashing on it, hammering it together. It is not actually dead, but I'm gonna say it's not gonna be able to take its turn. It's gonna have to use its turn to kind of wrench itself free. So it's not gonna get an attack off this turn, but it will spend its action to wrench itself free. And Reed, you attacked and you missed. Okay, so then.
Good
The
thinking,
other one
Alex.
the other one with a gun now has some targets to choose from. We'll see who it's gonna be. It is gonna be Twiggy. Twiggy. This thing's gonna fire at you. What do I need? A 60?
Good night, sweet princess. We hardly knew thee.
It's a
Farewell.
19. 2 more, so 2d10 worth of damage. First d10. Ooh, that's a 10. That's another 10. That's 20 points of damage, Ashley.
Okay.
Oh.
So that's
A lot. I
one
know, I'm
wound
sorry.
at least.
Okay.
At least I didn't have too much time to get.
Attached.
You
Wigs.
can, I mean, it would make sense that
Okay.
it shoots at you. You did do a shitload
Yeah.
of damage to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so you took a wound. All right, go ahead
Yeah, I
and
took
roll.
one wound and I have 9 health left.
Okay, you need to roll on the gunshot wounds table to see if it killed you. This is the thing where you got shot in the head. Remember that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't
go.
roll the same thing you rolled last time.
don't.
Here we go. Here we go.
I'm not looking.
No, you.
No.
Thanks, Jeff.
You did it. I didn't roll it.
Oh.
Okay. I'll tell
Someone
you what.
check that table. I think Jeff just switched them all to headshots.
I did just do that. Okay.
Headshot
yeah.
is a 9. So
I'll tell you
9
what. If you
twice.
want to use the bits that Farkadev just gave to do an advantage roll on your wounds table, I will let you do that. Which means you'll roll again and take the better. Obviously, you would need to roll anything better than a headshot.
a
you
9.
have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm spending it.
Oh my gosh!
I think it's rigged.
Let me double check.
I
I'm just,
swear he
kidding.
went through and he changed
I'm
them
just
all.
gonna double check. I'm gonna roll it myself. Okay, yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm just cursed.
Yes.
Got it. Understood.
I just got shot in the
my
head
gosh.
3 times. So as the second one gets pushed into the pump, Harrison, you took a shot and you missed. This thing lowers. This thing like just turns ever so slightly with its SMG and fires at Twiggy, and you see as Twiggy's head just whoosh, explodes. Their head just the bullet wrenches through. You see the plastic kind of it's not plastic. The armor of her helmet just rupture completely, and she just teeters over. Everyone, go ahead and make a stress right now. I think.
Oh my gosh. It's a stress as a D20.
You guys
right?
made
Farkadev,
eye contact
D20.
at like her last moment of like realization that she realized she was gonna die.
I will take credit for this one. This wasn't Steven doing it this time.
Oh
This
my
was me.
gosh.
But I did roll a D4 to see which one it would target, and it did come up before. And that's you, Ashley. I'm sorry.
Oh.
But it makes sense, though. You
That's
did
stress.
shoot it.
I did do a lot of damage. Or
Yeah.
I did 2 wounds.
You did 1 wound to it, and then you did 1 wound to the other. So you did it.
Twiggy, I was writing checks that you were supposed to cash. All right, who's gonna back me up now?
All right, how'd
I
everybody
did
do
a
on
fuck
their
ton of
stress?
damage.
Is rolling under a fail?
Yes.
Roll,
I just looked it up. Rolling under
Yeah.
is a fail.
rolling under, you get whatever the number is that you rolled. So let's do
Uh-oh.
this one at a time. Whoever failed, let
Yes.
me know.
Yeah,
So-
fail with an 11.
Okay, so that means that you're going to... All right, you're going to be paranoid. I'll put these in the public chat for you guys to see. So, paranoid. For the next week, whenever someone joins your group, even if they only left for a short period of time, you make a fear save or gain 1 stress.
Somebody leaves the
oh,
other
man.
room and comes back, and you get a stress.
Yep. And plus, we have a new character coming in.
That is brutal.
Liko, did you pass?
Failed with a 7.
Failed with a 7. And again, lower is a little bit better. Is always better. You gain a new condition.
Oh.
You get sleep is difficult. You gain disadvantage on all comfort saves. So it's nightmares. You can drag that and drop that on your character sheet.
no. I really have a lot of stress. I really was going to need to take some comfort stuff.
Harrison, how'd you do?
I passed.
Okay. All right.
Really?
I rolled an 11.
pretty
I
good.
have 8 stress.
Okay.
It's funny just from the meta perspective of like, this was your buddy, and you're like, meh,
Yeah, yeah. I'm trained. I'm combat trained. I've
That's
seen a lot
right.
of people die.
you're the professional.
Okay. You do see, after Twiggy made that plea towards the Minotaur, and seeing Twiggy now drop, you see this lurching giant figure just rumbling into the middle of the combat, and is kind of just putting itself between the one that's firing and where you all are. So like none of you can actually fire on the one with the gun currently, because the large body of the Minotaur has interspersed itself between you and it. That is its turn. So You have one of them just pulled itself free from the pump that Helix and Liko trapped it in. And then you got the other one that is now, as far as you know, unloading into the Minotaur. What would you like to do?
Liko would look at Helix, just to, kind of make a gesture just to try to push this other one back into the that piston again.
Yeah, just sort of keep doing it until it gets crushed.
So can I do that strength test at advantage again to see if we can, Liko and Helix can push that one back into the piston?
You want to do the same thing? Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right,
Okay.
that first one's a fail, 45 over 41. The second
Okay.
one is a success, 19 under 41.
All right, 4d10. See if you can finish this one off. I will tell you, you
Alright.
need to do 20 points of damage to be able to finish it off.
Off to a good start. That is a 10 and a 3,
13.
and a 2 and a 3.
18 points of damage. It is caught up in this pump, but it is not actually dead. But I'm going to say the same thing. It's not going to be able to attack as you keep pushing it back into this pump. Harrison, you could finish it off if you wanted.
Fuck, Twiggy. Twiggy, did you have 2 combat shotguns?
She did. She
Yeah,
just
she
picked
did.
one up, the one that said the buck starts here.
I'm gonna grab her combat shotgun and fire that.
Okay, grab it and you fire. Go ahead and roll at advantage because it's stuck. It is fair. I have killed 2 of Ashley's characters. The third was killed by Steven. I just want to point that out. So I am now beating Steven. So it actually
It's a
introduced a
close
new
race.
character
Wait till
in
she
2
brings
weeks.
her next one in.
Yeah, exactly. Harrison's like, I don't like this one. Seems like an android.
Yeah,
how'd
Helix
you-
and I are
That's
gonna
my-
tag team.
All right, guys, let me know when we got the next campaign. Hint taken.
I needed a 57. I rolled a 61 and a 66. So I
You
missed.
fire and you miss. Despite, there's just too much here. Your tears are beginning to perhaps well up in Harrison's eyes, or maybe just sweat, who knows. And you fire and you only kind of clip the side of it. You hear the sounds of the SMG go off. And you see, the Minotaur just gets the shots on the other side and doesn't seem to do anything else. It's just kind of standing in there. It's almost, in fact, kind of growing in such a way as it's creating this barrier between you and it. The other one wrenches its arm free. You can see its arm is now stuck in the pump, and it just kind of pulls the arm off at the shoulder and is now coming at you with one arm. What would you like to do? Liko, Helix, Harrison. There's still one more here. It is just like the blood coming out of its shoulder is enormous. There's all sorts of other wounds where it's been partially crushed by these pumps. What would you like to do? It is very close to death.
Harrison's missing all his shots, so he's gonna wait to see what Liko and Helix hit it with.
Okay,
I'm gonna kick this thing.
sure.
I like rolling strength instead of combat.
That's fine. Helix, are you helping her or are you doing your own attack?
Yeah, I'm gonna help her because combat's not my thing. So what?
Yeah,
any way I
so
can
describe
assist.
how you're helping her on one foot. Just throw your foot at it.
He just sticks his leg out to trip it.
Is it still jammed or is it standing right now?
I used its turn to free
stand.
itself.
Okay.
So it's managed not to attack you guys 2 turns in a row.
Yeah, I'll pretty much just taunt it, try to get attention on me, so it gets
What do you
side
say?
blinded.
What do you say?
Yeah, even with 1 foot, I'm more useful than you.
So it looks up at you. It's got those shadows where eyes should be. Its mouth is just kind of carved into the skin. There's a nose for a bump, but you don't really see anything. It just sort of kind of looks over at you. Its body covered in a mixture of that kind of white, bluish pseudo milk, but also the red of blood. You can see bits of Twiggy has been left on it as well. Liko, go ahead and roll that strength test.
35 under 41.
It's technically combat, but I go ahead and roll it. All right, it's only got 2 health left, so describe how you kill it, Liko.
This is a kick like a solid kick to the midsection. Just all her weight, just boom.
And the body just flies back, and this time its head gets kind of caught up in the back as it tries to pull itself forward. The collar gets caught, and as the outer shell of the pump comes down, you see it just wrench through the back side of its head. So it basically cuts the head in half, but front and back. And you just see where the shadows of the eyes are, just this splurting of liquid in circuitry, and it just falls to the ground. Harrison, what would you like to do? You still hear the gunshots going off from the other side of the Minotaur, but the Minotaur, it doesn't look like it's taking any offensive actions. It just seems to like it's protecting you all.
I don't trust the Minotaur. I don't trust Helix, Liko, and Leo. So I'm going to be looting Twiggy's body and getting ready to haul ass.
Okay. So you just bend down and you start getting everything.
Sorry,
Liko,
Twiggy.
No,
Helix,
you're good.
is there anything you're doing? New round. What do you all want to do? The Minotaur is kind of blocking the path, like me blocking the corridor, making it so that this thing is shooting it. But again, you don't see the Minotaur doing anything to actually physically harm it. It's just soaking the bullets for you.
Yeah, if there's any way to get through the corridor, like if you can get out of the way, you can run past.
So you can, you can probably run around. You can also
I feel like
run backwards.
Liko would kind of try to, because seeing how the Minotaur had kind of adjusted its shape before, so Liko kind of wants to run to kind of one side where the Minotaur is kind of taking it up and just sort of pound on its side, kind of like assuming because I've been helping it move before, so like that maybe it would understand what that means.
So you start kind of tapping it, and it reads exactly what you want it to do, and it's like shifting and it's shifting and it's shifting. And you and Helix are running and you're moving. Harrison's hanging back, looting Twiggy. Liko, Helix, you take maybe 10 steps. You kind of bypass the place where that one with the SMG was. Helix, you hear the sound again of that kind of clinking rattle. And you remember to yourself, wait, Leo was with us. You look back towards where Harrison is. You still see Harrison's there, just kind of getting shotgun, kind of finding a place to put it. Where Leo was standing back by the Minotaur's not there. You look up ahead, and you see that there is a creature of some kind. This tall, overly slender, synthetic creature with these long, needle-like fingers that just extend outward maybe a good 15 to 20 inches. Its face seems some kind of mixture of security android, but fallen android. You can see all of these different chains and cords kind of hanging down from like the side of its face, side of its arms. And you see it has this long half machine, half skin covered arm wrapped around the waist of Leo. And its other hand with those long 15-inch needles are injecting 4 of them right into the neck and shoulder of Dr. Leo Menton. And that is where we are going to end for tonight.
No.
As long as I gotta catch a freaking flight. Like,
Damn.
he's got a pack
Oh.
too.
Oh my gosh. Ashley!
Bloodthirsty.
Sorry,
Jeff.
Ashley. What? You guys decided to go this way, not me. Farco's the one who gave me the bits.
Rolls.
I can't. Oh, I can do that. I can do that, Veronica. Bam. Just done. Just done.
So-
Plus, I don't want to kill Leo unless Derek's actually here. So I'm going to be like, okay, so Derek, you're about to die. There we go. That's what's
What
happening.
do you want to do?
Yeah. On the bright side, guys, you're protected by the Minotaur. Yeah. There's that. Sorry, Ashley. I'm very sad
Happens.
that Twiggy has passed.
What are the odds?
Twiggy
Oh
was
my
the good
gosh.
Killing
Richard.
it twice.
It's a shame.
Now
It's
we
a
just
shame.
have to deal with Harrison.
Maybe. I don't know.
I
He might be
know.
running away. Who knows? Voice acting menace. I really enjoyed doing doing the broken down android,
Jonathan.
Jonathan and Richard. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Okay. Let's get on out of here because Long's gotta go get on a flight. It's gonna be a very long flight, I think, as you're going to the island of Japan. So, what do you got
What I
going
said,
on?
it was like 16, 18 hours.
16, 18 hours.
Yeah,
It's
pretty much.
crazy. Dude, have fun, man. Have a
Thank
lot
you.
of fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, that's awesome.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
great.
Trip of a
Take tons of
lifetime.
pictures. Drop them in the Discord. We want to see everything. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited for you. But the rest of us will be here. We're gonna be playing games tomorrow, so come back here tomorrow early in the day, 1 Central. You can catch myself, Melissa, Steven, question mark, over on Grim and Perilous Place as we're starting up a new game. Our friend Chuck is running it. It's Tales from the Loop. And then in the afternoon, 3 o'clock Central on our channel back here, we were playing Orbital Blues. We were off for a couple weeks for One Ring because Lung is not going to be here. So we're going to do some Orbital Blues for a couple weeks. We've already done 1 session, a lot of fun. So we'll be back for that. And then on Monday we'll be back to Deadlands for Savage Worlds. Haunted West is off on Tuesday. We'll be back first week in November, right?
Yes, on the 1st.
Okay, so yeah, back November 1st. So nothing on Tuesday for us. But so come back tomorrow, come back Monday. And the rest of you all have a really nice night. We're going to go ahead and raid our friends over at Defenders of Kobold because they are playing, I think it's DCC night. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So follow the raid, say hi to them, ask Chuck about his hairy feet, and we'll see you next time. So bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.
Bye.
And thank you, everyone, for the bits. It's awesome. Y'all are great.
Yes, thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ash is like, yeah, thank you.